Oh, hey, I'm glad you're here. Because we need to talk. Now, this talk, it's for everyone, me included. So, before you take anything too, I don't know, in the wrong way, keep in mind, this message is as much for me as it is for the rest of you. You stupid fuckers. I hear that more and more of us are starting to be of the idea that the only way we can fix our government is with violence. Now, that number's not over 50% yet, but the number's growing. And the number's growing, and we haven't even considered Thomas Jeffersoning this shit. Let's write a declaration, and let's do something about our government. I mean, we created it. We cast the votes. We picked the candidates. We chose not to engage with each other in social discourse about politics for decades because someone somewhere said it's not polite. I mean, how many wars have you seen end without there being a conversation? And how many conflicts have you avoided in your own life by talking? You see, when we don't talk, we don't understand what's going on with the other side. And when we just take for, at their word what others tell us is going on over there, well, we really don't know. So we have to talk with the people that we don't agree with. It's the only way we can understand them. And you guys want to... We're starting to lean toward fighting? We wrote almost a little more than 250 years ago, a letter to the King of England telling him, we're done being part of you. We're going to go do our own thing. And what a great gift to give ourselves as Americans on our 250th birthday. But to take control back of our government, fix some things that should have been fixed a long, long time ago, and then move forward with democracy as usual. With the changes, of course, but we continue to vote, we continue to have elected officials, and we see how it goes. Let's have America's experiment in self-governance 2.0. And how do we get there? The Declaration of Rescission and Revision. We rescind the power from those that we elected into office that aren't doing the job. And we make revisions to the government that should have been done a long time ago, because our government is 250 years old and there's been a lot of stuff that's happened since it was founded. And, well, over the past few decades, I think some of us have been more interested in anything else but the government. And now that it's kind of not working the way that it says it's supposed to in writing, free speech, freedom of religion, America, land of the free, home of the brave. How free are you and how free is your speech if you can't say certain words like gay, if you have agencies that can't use certain terminology like a environmental protection agency that can't use the phrase climate change or global warming? Typically, the only people that get rid of words are those that are afraid to face them and talk about them. And, home of the brave. Why do we have a president that uses his office and his various agencies, like the FCC, to intimidate broadcasting companies and to silence media personalities? Home of the free speech. If somebody wants to criticize the president, that's why the country was founded. Kind of. The primary first reason was religious persecution, and that was led by the King of England. And then secondarily would be free speech, because you couldn't say if the king did something you didn't like. That was a crime. And when we founded the country, we're like, no, if you don't like something, you can say something about it. If you want something to change, you can protest. And the idea for the Declaration of Rescission and Revision, well, it came from the Declaration of Independence. And in that, the line where Thomas Jefferson said that it is the will of the governed to decide if they want to abolish or amend their government. I'm going for amend. I don't see a need to abolish this form of government. I like it. Probably about 90% of what's there. Issue, the people that are in office right now aren't doing the job. The people that have been in the offices for 3-4 decades at least haven't really been doing the job in the interest of the everyday American people. So, let's rescind the power from the people that are in there. Let's make a few changes. And then let's see how we do. I mean, we've tried a businessman being president of our country, and he slashed regulations and regulatory agencies that oversaw businesses and caused them additional expense and guidelines that they had to adhere to. He's ran his sort of his administration both times, and his public persona is that of, if you didn't vote for me, then I don't work for you. And if you don't like what I say, and you say, negative things or are critical about me or my party, that you are an enemy or you're divisive. And divisiveness comes when you draw lines in the sand and tell people what they think and where they are and what they should be and what they should think. And that also runs contrary to freedom. We can think what we want. We can have differences of opinions. If we didn't have differences of opinions, there wouldn't be much point in a democracy, because we would go to the polls and we would all vote for the same thing every time, and everything that ever passed or happened would be with 100%. And we know that's not how that works. We know we all have different personalities and personas, and in that sense, we view the world in different ways, so we disagree on things. And that really leaves us in the best stance to improve things, because as long as we can discuss when we aren't happy, when things aren't working, then we can plan and look for solutions to make things better. If we have to sit, be quiet, and accept that, what we're being told is the truth, and just, go with what our leader says without any question or thought onto the outside or into a different direction, then the opportunity to improve ourselves as a nation, as a culture, and as a planet disappear because there's no room for asking questions and critical thinking. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the Declaration of Rescission and Revision. I have a copy of it posted on the Don't Tread on Others Facebook page. And I'll link that in the pinned comment below. If you would like to contribute to the Declaration of Rescission and Revision, then please, by all means, I would love to hear from you. Send me a DM, send me a message, leave a comment, reach out through email. Let's make this happen. There's no reason that we have to resort to violence to fix our government when our founding fathers already laid the groundwork for how we go about doing it. It's time for us to unite as a group of citizens. Tell the government that ain't how we want it done. And we go in and we get it fixed. Let's see if we can get some average Joe working people into offices like the president. What's the worst that could happen if you got somebody to be president who used to bust tables, do dishes, cook, manage various different organizations, deliver pizzas, deliver packages, and deliver items in a semi-truck as a president? Maybe they'll actually be focused on what the working people need because they're more representative of a majority of the people that live in America. And I know, but what sort of experience do they have? How would they handle? Well, if the founding fathers cared about experience or intelligence, there'd be an IQ test and a civics test before anybody could run for office. And we know that ain't happening now. And I'm pretty sure that if they pass the civics test, they wouldn't pass it in a comparative look at what you've done, look at what you're allowed to do sort of way. But let's get some regular Joes in there. And, as far as experience goes, that's what the cabinet's for. The president isn't expected to be an expert on everything. The president is supposed to pick a strong support team that's supposed to be the experts in their various fields and use them as a resource so that the president can make well-informed decisions. So you don't need anyone who has any political experience, any extra geopolitical knowledge. They just have to be able to pick a good support team and then use the information they get from their team and whatever other resources they choose to use and make decisions. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry I called y'all stupid fuckers, but we all have kind of been sitting back being stupid. And now we're talking about violence. Let's try signing a piece of paper first. If it doesn't work, well, then we might wind up in the violence lane anyway. But if it does work, could you imagine the beauty of America and Americans on their 250th anniversary? The 250th birthday of our country. Or a year, depending on how things could fall. But it'd be amazing. Imagine 2026, July 4th, we execute the Declaration of Rescission and Revision. What a great testament to the founding principles of our country, to the forefathers who designed our government, to the men and women that have fought to keep this country free and to help spread democracy around the globe. Let's make this happen. A peaceful change in governance, overseen by the people, to reform their government, to modernize it, to bring it in to this century. 250 years old. There's no, there's some things that slip through the cracks. There's some things that are in the government that are there because when the country was founded and as the country grew, there wasn't a speedy means of communication from one side of the country to the other. But now we got the internet. Everybody could be connected right now. We're just 5 subscribers away from being able to do a live stream. So share the video with your friends. Don't forget to like it and encourage your friends to subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. As soon as we get to 50, I'm going to do a live stream. And let's see if we can get everybody in America on at the same time. I mean, it'd be great, but kind of unimaginable. But imaginable and great. But, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, well, probably better because it might actually crash YouTube. I'm not sure. We could make that the goal too. Can we get enough people in one live stream to bring YouTube down? Not that I really want to bring YouTube down. It'd just be more of like kind of a science experiment, see if it could be done. But prove the point. We could all get together and we can communicate in a way that the forefathers 250 years ago couldn't even dream of. They couldn't imagine the things that we can do today. So, it's not a surprise that there are some things that exist within the structure of our government that haven't quite modernized to match the times. Again, only 5 more subscribers, so please share this with your friends. Ask them to subscribe as well so we can get that live stream going. Hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I look forward to talking with you all again soon.